I think I'm live. I think you can probably see me and possibly hear me. I think it's working. It's a new setup, but I always say that. Whoa, my God. Why am I so loud? You can probably see me. I do this every time. Why does this happen? Okay. Okay. I had the video up on another tab, I think. Okay. Hi, everybody. Greetings and welcome to a Bop It thing. So, oh, okay. I'm seeing people in the chat that I know. Hi, everybody. This was an impromptu. I'm making this up as I go today. So, every time I do one of these, I try to remember to turn off whatever browser window I have that tested to see what the link was, what the URL was for the stream. And I always forget to actually close all of them. So Patreon was still up. Sorry. Okay, I'm seeing lots of people I know in the chat. Hi. So yeah, I figured, today can be a heavy day in more ways than one. With it, in the United States here, we have it's a holiday. Now would be a good time to insert ads. Really? Stop it, YouTube. Every time. But yeah, it's just, today can be a heavy day for people. And because it can be a heavy day for people, I figure we do something light and fluffy. For some of us, though, we maybe just finished up eating or, something. And like in my case, I've been pretty inactive today. So I'd like to play some Bop It. So that's what I'm gonna do. But I figured while we do that, I will answer some questions. So let's see. So if you don't know Bop It, this is a game that it's probably my favorite computer game because there's a computer in there, so that counts. And
Beat Bop, solo, Beat Bop, pass it, Beat Bop,
usually play
Beat Bop,
solo mode, and Beat Bop is just going to make the sounds, and when it makes the sound, you have to either hit the middle, that's called Bop It, you have to twist it, pull it, spin it, or flick it. And so you have to do what it says, and I'm going to try to do this and read the comments. Okay, somebody's from Costa Rica. Hi. All right, we got lots of people excited. I'd like to watch you skip it and explain. I don't have Skip It. I've seen Skip It, but I haven't actually played Skip It yet. Okay, and I saw Eric ask about the OS you might want to use for live streaming. Which one's going to be the most stable? I tend to use Debian, and a reason I use Debian is because it works really well without a whole lot of changes, if that makes sense. So, like, I don't have to hit update all that often. So that's an option. Now, of course, on mine, I'm using SID, which I wouldn't recommend if you want stability. A reason I'm using SID is so I can figure out what's new with the Debian environment and kind of test how things are going to work out in the future. If you're not planning on doing any testing, I wouldn't necessarily recommend using SID as your day-to-day for something important like streaming. I think you might have mentioned LMDE as a potential option, and I could see LMDE working out really well, but if you have an NVIDIA card, you might be better suited with Vanilla Mint, if that makes sense. And some of that has to do with the fact that Vanilla Mint does a really good job of a proprietary driver integration, which I don't know if you have separate NVIDIA and like built-in cards, but that might be something that you'd find would be useful in Vanilla Mint that last I checked, it's not quite as easy to do in the Debian edition. Oh, hey, Addie. Okay. Amy, I see you. Okay, we got somebody from Ireland. That's exciting. Oh, shoot. I misheard.
Do it the same, but better. Score 83.
83 while reading and answering the chat. So that is not bad. Okay, let's do another one here. Okay, are you excited for the new Pop! OS desktop environment? I am. I've been beta testing it on one of my systems. And I love it. It's absolutely, you know, for a tiling workflow, it's going to have a lot of people really excited. And there's really good reason for it. Oh, Addie's in Chicago. Hi. You know, with Pop! OS, I always worry a little bit that it's going to be, you know, just because Pop! OS is it's driven by one company. It's not quite a community project. Now, I think they've expanded some community interest for the desktop environment, but I think they've got some community members developing apps for it, but, you know, I always worry about that with anything that's really driven by one sort of organization or one company, is that they're going to cater more to what those users need and less to a community. That said, I think System 76 are pretty good stewards of, you know, Pop! OS and what they do. So I think that could actually turn out to be a really good thing. But we'll see. Okay, I see. Is dual boot with Windows still recommended? I have just one spare PC and it has Windows for playing games now and then, but I miss Linux a lot. My primary is a MacBook, so no option on that one. It can be done. I don't like dual booting with everything on a single disk. And it's only because Windows has a tendency to break stuff down periodically. You know, especially with your bootloader and stuff. If you're willing to use Microsoft's bootloader, I didn't pay attention. I was thinking about Windows.
Oh boy. 477.
Okay, that's not as good as the other one. What a wacky stream concept. Thanks. You know, I figured it was something light and fluffy. That's the goal. So, but yeah, I think, and you know, one of the things to be clear is, you know, I see people in the comments saying, oh, you can install Linux on the Mac. Well, sometimes, you know, like I have a 2018 MacBook Pro and you can't install Linux on that easily at all because the drivers for the touch bar don't really exist. And so without that, you don't have like even things that are basic like a keyboard. Came to see if stream is as advertised. Will not leave disappointed. I appreciate that. This is a challenge. I will admit, I'm feeling a little challenged having to play this and, you know, read and talk at the same time. Let's see. Yeah, that's a nice MBR you have there. It'd be a shame if something happened to it. That's exactly it. So I do recommend, if you're going to be dual booting, if you can do it on 2 drives, I think you're going to have a much better time. than if you're trying to do it on a single drive, if that makes sense. And that's only because Windows tends to make, you know, they'll do some kind of update and then they'll break the other bootloader. Now, if you're using UEFI directly, and you don't mind going into your UEFI to select a partition to work with, you can pretty easily get around some of this stuff. And then you might run into secure boot issues, which can make things weird with Windows, but it's not impossible. I have found that it's easier to have two different hard drives on your computer, but obviously with a laptop that can be challenging. Gopher Man also thirds the separate drives. Hype for Linux on Apple M chips. I'm very pumped about Linux on... See, I started thinking about Asahi Linux. Okay, now I'm getting worse and worse because the questions are getting exciting. I do like the idea. And, you know, I love anything that's sort of twisted. Okay, see, that's gonna get you. I think Asahi looks really cool. And if I had like an M1 somewhere, I would definitely be trying it and reporting back. I have nothing of the sort, so that's not happening yet. Yeah, Asahi's making great strides. You know, I would say what they're doing is absolutely fantastic, and it's been really fun to watch, but I haven't been able to actually try it. But everybody I know who has tried it has reported really good things for what it is. And I'm kind of impressed with it. I never understood how to keep track of RPM and deb packages and dependencies that I have to install manually when I want to uninstall them. You can look back through history. Yep. Oh, BitLocker too. Yep. Okay. So David is mentioning that BitLocker can get in the way with dual booting, and that's I have experienced that myself when I've tried it with other people's stuff. Oh, okay. Reese is doing some live transcription. I would love to know more about how you're doing that. If you want to shoot me a message, I would love to learn more about that, because if there's any way I can make it available, like spin something up on my end, I'd love to be able to do that. You're much better at Bop It Extreme than I could ever be at normal Bop. I appreciate that. This is one of the silliest things I can do. And it's, you know, there's a little bit of pressure because I'm talking to you and answering questions while simultaneously trying to play Bop It. But I think I'm doing okay. Yep, Asahi would be great, especially long-term. To be honest, I'm a macOS fanboy, so not planning on switching, but the M series chips are going to remain relevant. Yes. I absolutely, yep, and if it keeps the computers going, that's a great thing. I totally agree. Yep, and Lynn is mentioning that newer versions of DNF have improved dependency tracking and removal. Yeah, I've got a Fedora machine up right now. Not what I'm using right now. This is Debian, but on one of my laptops upstairs, I do have Fedora going, just to play with the new DNF, and I've liked what I've seen so far. Oh yeah, Major Kira in the background. She's standing over a dead Cardassian, which I thought was kind of nifty. Why are package managers still so fragmented? They all basically do the same thing. I'm surprised one superior app hasn't emerged and taken over multiple distros. You know, it's complicated. I think that a lot of people, there's so many conflicting philosophies. And one might look at that as a bad thing, but I also think that at the same time, if we're getting things across to people, and providing lots of different upgrade paths and upgrade concepts. You know, if as long as everybody can find something that they need out of a system, I think that tends to be what's more important to me anyway. As far as the desktop is concerned, I'm very excited to see what Flatpak is doing. It's not perfect. There's a lot that needs to be kind of worked out with Flatpak, but oh, I totally twisted it.
Score 144.
Okay, 144 while answering questions. That's the new record. Wait, what? Missing score reports they canceled lower decks. Oh no. I hadn't seen that yet. I'm gonna have to check that out. That's too bad. Yeah, Flatpak. I mean, Flatpak is. I think for developers, it might solve some problems. It doesn't solve every problem, but I think for developers, it solves some problems. Okay, we have 93 people watching right now. That's kind of amazing. I'm surprised that that many people are interested in Bop It, but maybe it's the Linux that's actually bringing you in. Am I live on PeerTube right now? No. This is not live on PeerTube. Oh, did the band just sign in? Hello. Band. Ethan says, I'm boggled by Bop It skills. Yes. I've been doing a lot of Bop It. I keep begging DaVinci to move to Flatpak or even snaps. There's got to be an easier way. Is this not a Bop It channel? It's not, actually. But, yeah, DaVinci, I think, could benefit from a Flatpak. You know, if you're interested in a program that does Flatpak, I think, pretty well. Bitwig Studio actually does a pretty good job of packaging for Flatpak as a proprietary app. I think they kind of show how it could be, which I'm excited to see. What's that monitor behind you? The one in the background that's a CRT is, that's actually my Wise terminal. I spun it. I totally spun it.
Score 75.
Okay, so the monitor behind, okay, I should pause for a minute and just like introduce the space here. So I am in my new workspace, which is like probably 90% of the way finished. We just started installing shelves and the shelves are mostly empty. So that's going to be where my like storage for equipment goes and stuff. I don't want to install everything. We're playing with placement. Like, how high do we want this shelf to be? How high do we want this shelf to be? Like, that's what we're doing right now. So I don't have much on it right now as I'm kind of exploring it. And what I'm doing with it is I'm just kind of bringing my stuff in and seeing kind of where it fits. And we're making a lot of judgments about if I want to keep this book, if I want to donate this book, if I want to keep this machine, if I want to donate this machine. The Wise terminal I'm definitely keeping. That's not going anywhere. My first video on this channel, actually my first YouTube video ever, was with that. So Brian, is this the room in the basement? It is. I'm in the basement space. So finally it's like set up and I can actually explore. I have room. Like in my old space, if I like put my hands back like that, I'm hitting the wall. Here I actually have depth, which is kind of nice. And yeah, it's a lot of fun. Addie, is this going to be your normal shooting location? It is. This is where I shoot. Is this a Moments with Veronica stream? It's more of a I'm playing Bop It and just kind of trying to be breezy because this can be kind of a day. And so, oh, Joe sees it. Okay, hang on. All right, I'm going back. There's a real space. All right. My Etch-a-Sketch animator. Yes, I have one of these. This was like my first video editing machine. As a little kid was this Etch-a-Sketch animator. I absolutely loved it. And it totally works. I'm not going to show it because I'm sure my kids got stuff on it. But yeah, it's a fantastic little thing that like you can animate and draw. It's like an Etch-a-Sketch, but there's an animate button, and when you hit it, it will it'll actually show like in series all the stuff that you're doing, which is a lot of fun, like all the different drawings that you made. And it's super cool, super cheesy. And for me, it was one of the first ways in which I kind of played with motion in like a video set. I know it's not video, it's like an LCD screen and like a little dot matrix, but as a kid, it felt like magic. It felt like making TV. And so I like to keep it around. That's kind of nice. Let's see. Over on the Discord/Matrix, I'm getting some questions coming in. Let's see. Yeah, I'm rhythm bopping and answering questions. So it's all kinds of fun. And yeah, I'm having a good time. Eric, it's 3:50 in the morning in the Netherlands. Well, good morning, or hopefully you go to bed soon. One or the other. And thank you, folks, for all the kind words about the space that we're still in the process of making a space. Ethan, as a terminal nerd, I want to get back to this Wise. Well, you can, the video number 1 on this channel is getting Debian 10 connected to the Wise terminal. And so if you want to see a little bit more of it in action, you can do that.
Beat Bop, have it.
Okay, so
Beat Bop, one-on-one. Beat Bop, solo.
I'm going to try, okay, the Stop Bits asks, that's my band, is that heliotrope? The color is technically heliotrope. That's the name of the color. Okay, I'm going to do, this is a fun thing. This is Trick Bop It. Anyway, that's a lot of fun. Okay, let's see. Anybody have any more questions, or should I just keep bop tricking? Bop it tricking, I suppose I should say.
No, score, 22.
22. Okay, so, but I kind of stopped, and it has the weirdest little 4-bit industrial. Oh, so Joe, you've taken apart an animator? I'm afraid to take this one apart because it's mine from as a kid, and I don't want to lose it. Addie, you had one of those as a kid? That's awesome. I'm pumped about that. Let's see. Do I keep up with Linux kernel development much? Not really. So you have to remember that I worked, when I was a sysadmin, I worked in legacy systems. And so typically I didn't need much out of new kernels, if that makes sense. Like, it's not that I wasn't interested, but like when I would roll into a Linux system, you know, even 5 years ago, I was seeing like kernel 2. you know, because that was what was shipped on the machine that they were using for their old system. And I would be brought in to bring that up to like something more modern, but we weren't like dealing with bleeding edge by any stretch of the imagination. For me, so Addie mentions Big Iron. I wasn't working with Big Iron myself much because my niche was x86 COBOL, which is a really narrow thing. Eric asks, did I ever upgrade my Chromebook with the latest kernel? On Debian, no. On Fedora, yes. Does Big Iron refer to core memory? Big Iron typically is referring to like mainframes and that sort of system, as opposed to like standard commercial servers, if that makes sense. It's a lot of like IBM stuff. I think I already answered that. So not Big Iron, but certainly Big Iron. Yes, I was Big Iron adjacent. And like I had colleagues that would have done the Big Iron stuff, but like I was, like if you want to imagine somebody who upgraded, now I'm sitting here thinking about COBOL, it's ruining my brain. If you want to think about somebody who maybe upgraded from like a mini computer back in the 90s into something more commercially adjacent, like there was a pattern of mini computer to RS-6000 to Red Hat, if that makes sense. And like if that's like the sales funnel over the years, every 8 years somebody upgrades to something different. That's basically what I was working on. Socket Wench. Yeah, IBM World Consulting. The whole IBM thing. Ooh. Paul, my mom raised 13 kids and then started a new career as a COBOL programmer. That's fantastic. Where is my NES boat video? NES boat. Do you by chance mean news boat? Because I do have a video out there about news boat. I'm sure if you search my channel for news boat, you'll probably find it. Yeah, to clarify, a mini computer was a desk-sized PC as opposed to the mini PCs of today, yes. So like a mini computer would have been, it's more the size of like a server, or even like an entire rack. And it was called a mini computer because that's in contrast with something like an IBM mainframe or something that maybe took up the size of a small room. Yep, PDP-11, VT-100, yep. Yeah, mini computer is a refrigerator to mini fridge size. Yes, exactly. Yeah, the word mini in this context is referring to in comparison with the large monstrosities of the day, which are fun, but take a small power plant to operate. Yep, okay, so the last mini I used was a PDP-11. Yep, and we got VAX. Everybody's talking about their favorite minis here. Oh, well, thank you. Somebody says, I saw the Newsboat video and fell in love with RSS all over again. I love RSS. I'm probably going to be demonetized from this video because of that. Yeah, mini compared to the computer that... Okay, I spun that.
Score 8-3.
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah, mini in this case, you know, really compare a mini computer to like the computer that launched the Apollo missions. You know, like that kind of big giant NASA. You picture the room full of computers, like full of, they look to us in the modern era like server racks, but really it's not really the way to think about it. It's like they all kind of integrate into one machine, or like a small grouping of machines, and that's not what a mini computer was. A mini computer has much more simplistic of operation. I mean, I don't want to call it simple because they're still really complex. They're a lot of fun, and they were at one point something that like your bank might have used, or like a largish enterprise, and you know, like your local office for your government might have used that kind of thing. Yeah, and my name is Bucket says what we now call a desktop would have been called a microcomputer in the 80s. Another term that used to be used was a home computer, but then that got kind of mixed in with like 8-bit machines, like, you know, your Commodore 64s, as opposed to your PCs, which were more business machines. Do I know the channel Usagi Electric? I've seen a few Usagi Electric videos. They're a lot of fun. What would they have called the Raspberry Pi then? You know, somebody who was working with computers in the 70s couldn't have imagined the Raspberry Pi other than as a pipe dream. Yep. Gopherman says, size is relative. That's absolutely it. Yeah, witchcraft. Magic. Okay, so somebody mentions the hand gestures between bops. That's how I actually keep doing it. I'm keeping the beat. It's a musical exercise at this point. I'm basically like playing drums. It helps me focus if I have a... It's like how the conductor of the orchestra might... So, yep. Yeah, a Raspberry Pi would be like a nano computer at this point. Ooh, okay, Paul says TRS-80. Oh, I love it. Yep, some component boards back then were probably 2 to 3, depending on when you go, some component boards were a lot bigger than that even too. Is it a stereo mic I'm using? No, I'm using the Rode thing everybody else uses. And the reason I'm doing that is because I figured it'd probably stay closer to my mouth than this thing, because I don't have a way to mic myself externally without it picking this up much louder than my voice. Yeah, my first PC was a PC in 1982. My personal first computer that I ever used was actually probably a 286. But like I had access to a lot of different things because I had family that worked with computers. And so, you know, I had a little bit of access to everything as a kid. Ooh, okay, we're talking about vintage computing now. Ooh, the Kim 1. Yeah, that's a fun one. Yeah, the CPU on a PDP-11 is 2 boards, each of which is maybe the size of 24 Pi boards. That sounds right. Yeah. Somebody whose dad worked at IBM says half price was $2,000. Yeah, that sounds about right. My first home PC was the Apple II. That nice home PC. I only ever used the Apple II really at school. I mean, growing up in Minnesota, we had MEC. And so we did a lot of Apple II stuff. Because I mean, Mech made games for other systems too, but so much of it was Apple that the Apple II was pretty ubiquitous when I was a kid. In fact, right over there, I have a Apple II GS, which has not made an appearance on the channel yet, but will. I got plans for it. Yep. Okay, so what was your first computer? All right, so Gopherman just started a cool thread or a cool concept. What was your first computer? I missed.
157.
Okay, 157. That's the new record for while I'm sitting here talking. So I like this idea. Everybody share your first computer. Like, let's talk about your first computer while I'm doing this. Okay, we got the TRS-80. You know what? I'm going to start a poll.
Oh boy, score 4.
I'm going to start a poll just because I'm curious about this. Let's see. We're gonna do a poll. Okay. First computer was 8-bit, 16-bit. Okay, so I'll give examples. Commodore, Apple II. No, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. Okay, 8-bit, 16-bit, 32-bit, and 64-bit. I'm just kind of curious. Your first computer was... I'm curious now how this works out. Okay. Okay, that's going to be a lot of fun. I love polls. If you follow me on Mastodon or, well, I think I can do them on Mastodon. Because I don't think Blue Sky has polling yet. But if you follow me, you know I do a lot of polls. Because they're fun. It's cheesy. We got the TRS-80 is kind of representing right now, and I'm a little surprised about that. Yep, if you consider the animator, mine was 4-bit. I got a TI-99, Eric. Yeah, the GS is a trick question because is it 8 or 16? I mean, I think a lot of people who had an Apple II GS were still playing like Apple II era games on it, like the 8-bit era games. So, I mean, there's that. Earliest one I remember was a Windows 98 beige box. Yep. Those were a lot of fun. Okay, the Commodore VIC-20 with a full encyclopedia from a door seller. Nice. So you had to buy the full encyclopedia in order to get the VIC-20. What's my favorite vintage computer? I mean, I love the Commodore 64. The Commodore 64 is a ton of fun. I love the games. I love trying to be productive on the thing because, like, it's virtually impossible. When it comes to music and making music, my answer changes, and I tend toward the Amiga. And a reason why I tend toward the Amiga is because of trackers. Because trackers are awesome. But you could also do trackers on the PC. And so depending on the era, it starts to tend toward a PC. Okay, my Spinit.
Good score 8, 5, 12, medium, high.
Well, my Spinit's working okay. Yeah, the Amiga, because they made Babylon 5 on it. Yes, this is true. Can confirm. Okay, we're doing okay. All right. This is a fun, I like this. Okay, do we like the Bop It? Is the Bop It annoying? Should I stop with the Bop It and just answer questions? I wanted to make this silly, and I think I've succeeded at making it silly. Yeah, 130. I'm supposed to tell you to like and subscribe, otherwise they're gonna like yell at me about it. I think everybody commenting had to subscribe, so there's that. What was the first version of Ubuntu? I want to say there was one in 2004. My first was in 2005, so there's that. Anyway, okay, keep the Bop It. Works, Bop It. Patrick Henry says, can't beat those Sid chip tunes. I agree. Yeah, +1 for the silliness. Dress in a turkey costume. I don't have a turkey costume. Does a Game Boy count as a computer? I would call a Game Boy a console. And I think Game Boy's 8-bit. I remember taking apart a Game Boy, but isn't it a Z80 in it? Or a Z80? Ooh, Jason had a video toaster. So if you don't know what a video toaster is like a way to overlay video on top of video. It was before my time. But I remember seeing them as a kid in like the AV room. Game Boy uses I thought the Game Boy used a Z80 or a Z80. Okay, somebody look that up for me, because I could have sworn, because I know the NES used a 6502. I'm a fan. Okay, Gopherman says sharp. That might be it. The Game Boy is a Z80 variant. Yep, okay, I think that, yeah. Okay, Joe is saying, and he has a computer museum, so I trust him. Yeah, it's a Ricoh or something. Yeah, that sounds right. It's something along those lines. I mean, it's not bad for me playing Bop It and trying to remember what processor was in the Game Boy. Yeah. I mean, ultimately, when it comes to your computer, anything's a computer. Like, this is a computer. Like, I called this earlier a computer game. And the reason why is because there's a computer in there doing all this stuff. Ooh, okay. When I was a kid, my dad got me an OLPC XO1. That's nice. Okay, cool. It was part of their donation program and was one of the first batches made. I still have it. That's fantastic, Joseph. That's super exciting. Is a Bop It Touring complete? I don't think so. I don't know if you can. So I have a Bop It that's in a state of broken right now. And I might try to take it apart just to see how it's working. It's been a really long time since I took one of these apart. I have an XO1 running mini VMAC with it booting directly into the Oh, see, like it's like a little Mac. That's cool. Yeah, I could do a Bop It teardown. Yeah, the average microwave or toaster is 32-bit at this point. Yeah, it's amazing. You know, and I wonder in some cases, how much processing power does it really need? Ah, I missed.
Oh boy.
I grabbed and I didn't.
140.
Okay, 140. All right, it's not quite there. But like, I mean, it's coming together. I don't think I'm gonna get to 250 while chatting. I think I'm making mistakes once we get around the 150 mark. Okay, let's see how my poll turned out. Let's take a look. It looks like 32-bit is winning with 44%. 8-bit has 30%. 16-bit has 18% and 64-bit has 8%. I'm gonna end the poll. That was cool. Okay, that was a lot of fun. So and nice. There we go. And somebody says Linux is painful. I mean, everything's painful. There's not a system alive that isn't painful. Like, every system has its flaws. At least Linux can run on the microwave. I don't think anybody made a microwave that's actually running Windows. Like Windows Embedded Microwave Edition? Maybe somebody did. Maybe it's one of those, like, inside the screen, you can, like, control it and connect it to your, you know, Samba server or something, but I don't know why you'd ever do that. But I don't know why you'd put a touch screen on a refrigerator. So, is there alien life in space? I mean, right above us? Probably not. The universe is huge. Like, have you seen how big the universe is? I have to imagine that something's out there. Mac OS on a fridge. I'm picturing the Steve Jobs keynote where he announces, like, Fridge OS. Yeah, Mint on an x86 MacBook is lovely. Couldn't agree more. I think Mint nails it. Yeah, OS2 powered stoves. OS2 it. Yeah, Microsoft just bought a nuclear plant. That's true. That thing you're playing with, it's having an effect. Yeah, I'm sure I'm definitely not as coherent as I normally would be. But it's fun. Put Linux Mint on a fridge to make it colder. Probably could. If you put Mint on a fridge, could you make mint ice cream? Oh, come on.
Do it the same. Score 74.
Okay, that's really not bad for I'm reading. Hi, I just wanted to say that while I don't have a Mastodon account, I do enjoy your optimism and enthusiasm when I see your post while I lurk the Fedi. Well, I'm glad. I mean, Fedi's got its quirks. Like, people talk about it like they want it to be what Twitter was. I don't see that ever happening, and I don't think it needs to. What I like about the Fediverse is integration. It's the idea that, like, you can use one system to comment on another. I think that's a lot of fun. What's my favorite Amiga game? It's a hard thing to decide. You know, there's a game that's a newer game. I don't remember who makes it. It's called Turbo Tomato. And that was a lot of fun. So, like, if you're looking for a new game, I think the creator's on Itch. So if you want to, like, look that up, that could be worth doing. Yeah, I think it has me in a pretty good stream of consciousness. I think so. I think I'm kind of zen. Yeah, Winter Mint. Oh yeah, I couldn't subscribe because I had subscribed to a kid video. Interesting. Don't know how that works. never played with Plan 9, Eric. That could be fun. How do I feel about keyboard drawers? So I'm using one right now. I'm kind of back and forth on keyboard drawers. I'm using one right now because I sometimes need to film from above me. And it's just more convenient if I can have the keyboard under that, if that makes sense. Have I gone to a LAN party which in the past used coaxial cables with caps in the ends? I don't think I ever went to a LAN party that used coax. Any LAN party that I went to was definitely in the Ethernet era. And so we were just using like RJ45. Yeah, okay. Gopherman suggests, oh, come on. Okay, Turrican got brought up. I totally got distracted because of Turrican. Love Turrican. Turrican's great. Let's see. Have I gone? Yeah, okay, I think I already answered that. Lemmings. Lemmings is another good one. Like, Lemmings is a great one. There's some cheese puns happening in here. Yeah, I was going to say 10 base 2, maybe? But I never went to a LAN party that would have had 10 base 2. When we did, before I did Ethernet-based LAN parties and, you know, just kind of the more modern stack, we would have been using no modem cables, and it wouldn't have been a LAN party so much as, like, I brought my computer to a friend's house, if that makes sense. I did plenty of null modem gaming with friends, especially the game Descent. But that was in the Windows PC era, or the DOS PC era at least. Loved Descent. Descent was an absolutely fantastic game. Still play it. It's a ton of fun. Definitely recommended. Oh, you're in Ohio, Gopherman. Nice. Yeah, but it's a little warmer there. It's definitely chilly. Hi, Tracy. Yep. If you're down south right now and can avoid coming back up to Minnesota, I highly recommend it. Because it is like 11 Fahrenheit right now. Like 12 Fahrenheit. It's not very warm. I don't know what that is in science degrees. I want to say it's under 0. But I can't do that math while I'm doing this. That's not going to happen. You played Doom on a BBS? See, I lost because you played Doom on a BBS. I find that exciting. Okay. A NetWare to serial shim. That is awesome. I want to know a lot more about that. That sounds like a ton of fun. Oh my, am I out of focus? I'm sorry. Okay, here. I'm not paying super close attention. Yeah, I was gonna say 32 degrees Fahrenheit is 0. So, oh, what happened? Oh, did I make it too quiet? Should it be quiet?
Medium.
I think I might be running out of battery. Let's see. Do you still hear this okay? Okay, Amy says -12C. Yeah, the high tomorrow will be 2. Oh my goodness. Doom was a fun game. You can play it on almost anything, which is a lot of fun. Oh, thank you, Tracy. Appreciate it. Okay, I had a BBS called G-Talk, which was a multi-line chat system, and we designed it to collect netware through this shim, a TSR for MS-DOS. Fantastic! That's way cool. Okay. I once copied a SimCity 2000 install over IR between laptops. That was fun. Yeah, I'm sure it was. SimCity 2000, I mean, if I'm remembering correctly, there was a version of SimCity 2000 that was like on floppy. I only ever played the CD version, which seems like it would have been really heavy over IR. I'm east of you. We're getting our cold in the next couple of days, and it's coming across warm Lake Erie, so we'll get to enjoy the white stuff. Yeah, we haven't gotten enough snow yet. We definitely need more snow. Oh yeah, all the Doom wads are a hoot. Absolutely. So Doom is a game that I didn't get into at the time. I came in more in the Quake era into first-person shooters, but I did play Descent, which is kind of a first-person shooter. It's the same concept as Doom, but because it's robots, it was less scary as a kid. Okay, somebody asks, why snow? So I live in Minnesota, and snow is kind of part of the culture, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of stuff starts to happen. Oh, God. I'm thinking about the snow. A lot of stuff starts to happen in the winter that's fun activities that you can do, like fun with the family or fun, you know, like good ways to kind of get your energy out and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of fun activities with the snow. And I haven't been able to do that this year, and I really wasn't able to do it last year because we had so little snow. So I'm kind of waiting for it. I'm kind of expecting it, and it hasn't happened yet. Yeah, Minnesotans are going, we need snow for sure. Absolutely. Now, some don't. Yep. Keep people home. In Minnesota, we're so used to the snow that the snow actually brings people out. Like, we organize entire winter events around the snow. It's really like part of the culture. Like, neighbors come out and play with each other and like have fun, and there's a lot of silliness with the snow, and it's a good time. Yeah, here in Yellowknife, Canada. Well, welcome. And yeah, you got snow in September. I'm sure you did. Snow anticipation, Amy says. The farmers need snow, somebody says. Can't confirm. But I have to imagine precipitation of any kind is welcome. Yep, cross-country skiing in the woods is serene and lovely. Couldn't agree more. Yep, and snow increases albedo, so it makes it not as dark. That's true. Yeah, we have a whole winter carnival, Addie points out. Yeah, when it gets crunchy and dry, it's basically, it's a lot of fun. There's a whole thing around it. Okay, Ethan says, my wife is from Siberia. She dislikes winter without snow. She says if it's going to be cold, it should be pretty. Completely agree. Okay, that I just got wrong. That was just me getting distracted. Okay, I'm gonna take a break for a minute because I should take a break. Oh my goodness. Okay, we got a super chat coming in. I should, I think it's the first super chat of the day, so I'm gonna answer the super chat. Hello and cheers from Argentina. Thank you, El Blog de Marcelo. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. Thank you, appreciate it. Yes, absolutely with the super chat. Very, very very exciting, and thank you. It's very helpful. Let's see. Okay. So while I'm taking a break from the Bop It, I want to talk about the whole Discord thing, because I started up a new thing recently, and I set up a patron specific Discord, or a member supported Discord. So and it is, what's cool about it is it's bridged to Matrix. So if you're a member, a supporter of the channel on Patreon or Ko-fi, and Ko-fi's being a little weird right now, it's a holiday weekend, so I'm giving them credit. Hopefully by next week the issues are resolved. They've said there's a bug with some of the Ko-fi members, they're not getting invites. But basically you join the Patreon, you join the Ko-fi, you get into a really cool Discord that I'm tentatively calling Veronica's Awesome Club. And we have had a fantastic time this week in this little club. I feel like I kind of like sent an invite through Patreon, and suddenly a bunch of people got sucked into this Discord, and now they can't ever leave, and it's a lot of fun. We're having a great time with the chat. We're sharing stuff. It's very affirming. It's very positive. You know, we have a whole section for self-promotion. We have a section for shouting out other people's creations. It's really cool. And yeah, if anybody's interested in joining it, please do, because it's going to help so much with building this channel and building up the infrastructure. Tiers on the membership stuff for Patreon and Ko-fi start at $2 a month. So it's $2 American a month, United States American a month. So yeah, please, if you're at all interested in chatting or keeping up a thing, patreon.com/Veronica Explains, ko-fi.com/Veronica Explains. I should write the links. Okay, I'm writing the links. Patreon.com/Veronica Explains and ko-fi.com/Veronica Explains. Yeah, and for the Patreon and the Ko-fi, all tiers get access to the Discord. So you're in the $2 tier, you get in. I don't take, I haven't had a lot of sponsorship stuff come my way. It's not like I'm opposed to sponsors. They're just not showing up. And so if sponsorship is something that came my way, like maybe I wouldn't be so reliant on the Patreon or the Discord, or I'm sorry, the Patreon or the Ko-fi. But they're just really not coming. And that's okay. I think I'm okay with it. Because I don't necessarily want to be talking about VPNs. You know, to be blunt, it's not the thing I'm interested in, or like a meal planning service. You probably don't. I don't want to be talking about anything to do with a kitchen. Let me put it that way. So I absolutely appreciate everybody who's supporting me, because you've made this possible. And so that's the reason there's a member supported Discord. It's bridged to Matrix. So if you're not a Discord person, but you're a Matrix person, you can still join. There's a whole process behind it. It's a lot of fun. And yeah, we're having a really good time. And I'm really glad that I set it up. So I very much appreciate it. We've had a couple of people join here. So thank you. It's very exciting. But yeah, it's if that's something you're interested in, again, check out the link. It's gonna be fun. Okay, play a little bit more of this. I've been doing this for an hour, which isn't bad. Let's see.
Beat Bop, one-on-one. Beat Bop.
Okay, so I'm gonna try Vox Bop.
Fox Bop.
Okay, so this is the version where it tells you what to do. I bet I'm gonna have a much harder time reading because I'm hearing words come out of this. Let's see if this...
Flick it. Spin it. Twist it. Bop it. Spin it.
Are the batteries going to run out? They might. I think when I've had the batteries run out... Oh my goodness. It is much harder to do this when it's telling me what to play. Somebody says, can't follow your Mastodon. Am I Fedi blocked? There's a few servers I block. Okay, I can't do that. It's it's so hard when it tells me what to say, because now I think it's the part of the brain that processes language is now listening, so I'm not reading anymore. I'm not a neurosurgeon or neuroscientist, so I can't prove that. But when I change it to the part of when it's just the sound effects, I can read and listen at the same time. When it's the words, I can't do that as easily. So, okay, so somebody says, can't follow your Mastodon, am I Fedi blocked? If you went to linuxmom.net, I 401 everybody who isn't signed in there. And the reason why is because it cuts down on harassment. Which is definitely a thing, and it definitely happens on the Fediverse, and it's a problem. So yeah, I would say there are some servers I block because I was getting an inordinate amount of really malicious comments and nobody was doing anything about them. And so including one of the bigger Linux servers, I'm not going to mention what it is because I don't want to get like anybody in trouble. I'm not trying to make a thing about it. But I did block one of the Linux servers. If you're on that server, consider changing servers. A lot of people left that server because it was kind of known as a nexus of nastiness, and if that makes sense. But there's a bunch of servers that you might join because you Googled it and it's like, oh, this is a cool server. I like this. I'm going to sign up here. And you don't realize that because they have such poor moderation processes, that they're being defederated. And that this is actually one of the hitches with Mastodon and with the Fediverse in general, is you kind of have to start in the know. And that there's not a simple funnel that gets you to happy, positive servers easily. And I think that part of that is a problem that's solved with time, and part of that's a problem that's solved in documentation. And I think we haven't seen that yet. Let's see. Yeah, Amy says, don't let Sean get my Bop It. He'll have it running haiku in no time. Let's see. Gordy says, who would give me nasty comments? Okay, just so you know, just to put it into perspective, I counted it out once and I get at least 20 queer-phobic comments a week. You know, when I average it out on YouTube alone. This doesn't count Mastodon, this doesn't count other things. There's a ton of people who just really don't like anybody in the LGBTQ umbrella. Let me put it that way. And because that's me, people just get kind of rude about it. And I don't get it because like I don't talk about it, but other than right now, because people have asked me why Fedi blocking is happening. But that's why. So anyway, it's all kinds of fun, and like at the end, it's not unlike email. You know, you get bad email domains and good email domains. And if your email is hosted from like a bad service that sends out a lot of spam, you're gonna have a hard time with delivery. And the solution to that's to change email providers or spin up your own. It's really no different with Mastodon. If you're on a server that's behaving poorly in the community, you might not be at fault, but you're still going to run into issues. And I think that that's what happens. So yeah, like not bad, but just wow, look at all this Linux or whatever. Yeah, Ethan, I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. I see. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of it. I'm not sure it's just the funnel to finding a new server for happy fun reasons. It's also a lot of topical bias. Mastodon is absolutely, topical bias is a great way to put it. For me, a lot of Mastodon is vintage computing and Linux. And that's kind of my jam. So like, I think it makes sense for me, but like other kind of communities, there's, I think, a lot less of that. There's niches, there's little tiny islands of excitement in it, but it's not quite as fleshed out as the Linux and the vintage computing communities tend to be. So yeah, that's the thing. So anyway, long story short, I am pretty locked down on Mastodon. You can still follow if you're from an instance that isn't one that I've blocked due to harassment, and there's a laundry list of them. I did choose to keep the big servers unblocked. I know some people block big servers, but like I want people to access it. Otherwise, I keep joking, my website has RSS and I'm hoping to post more on it sometime soon. So, okay, this might be a good time to wrap, I'm thinking, because I've been live for what? Like 3.5 hours? I don't know how long I've been playing this. Okay, it's 9:40. I think I started at 8:30. So, okay, well, thank you to all of you who've supported and helped out. And, you know, like I know Thanksgiving can be a fun day. It can be a rough day. And as somebody who's been through it, I wanted to do something kind of positive and happy and peppy and fun. So, so that's that's why I decided to play Bop It and just answer questions. So hopefully shortly, as you can see, the space is in much more of a state of completion. I got a little Linux lesson coming out relatively shortly, been working on it all week. And yeah, everybody's saying, throw in the likes. Yeah, go hit like. So that way, when you hit like, YouTube is more likely to recommend me to somebody else. It's definitely a thing. So yeah, so anyway, hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Hope everybody's having a wonderful week. And I'm planning on doing, I think I'm out of focus again. I'm planning on doing more of these streams now coming up shortly. We're trying to figure out a system where somebody can moderate and maybe tell me questions. I'd like to be able to put the questions on the screen here, so that way people can see what is like being said. So that would be nice. I can't leave the entire chat up because when I have to delete a comment, it's kind of rude. So that happens. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody. Appreciate all of you. Oh, we got another super chat. Oh my goodness. Learned a lot from you. Thank you, El Blog de Marcel. Thank you. Thank you so much. It's very, very helpful. All of it is super helpful. Helps me continue doing this. And now that the space has been built, we're gonna have some fun. So thanks, everybody. Linux is awesome. So are you. No matter who you are, you're awesome. All right. See everybody later. Bye. Oh, I have to end.